Okay, so here's a little walk around. You notice my highly sophisticated recovery bottle. I found that after the first run when it started to purge some of the fluid out onto the frame. Needed to clean that up. Radiator mount still need to be moved. Capped off the overflow at the tank. I haven't quite figured out, or at the radiator, I haven't quite figured out what I want to do there. This is the hideous intake box. It'll work, but I'm not satisfied with the way it looks when it comes down to the welds. Here's a little closer look at the seams. Then this is the wiring harness. Obviously there are lots of marked out, and of course you need a blown up version of the manual wiring harness. That doesn't always match up, and then some of the wires, they seem to want to call them other things, different colors. All in all, at this point, pretty satisfied with the way the mount has worked out for the motor. The deflection, if you look at the other two videos, you can just see the airbox move a little bit, but for the most part it's not bolted down, so maybe that may have been more vibration and load from the intake. Need to start working on the rear clamshell half. This is a side photograph of the wheel in full bump. It does collide a little bit with the body, but I think I can resolve that. This is a pretty wide tire. It's a 195 50 15. I think I'm going to go 195 or 185 maybe. I still haven't worked that out yet. But a little bit of a walk around. I've already pulled the fuel supply on it. Otherwise I'd do a little bit more of a run, get an idea how the header system worked out. Been pretty happy with it so far. The quality of this motor is kind of unknown. It was an eBay purchase that never got to hear it run. It's got a little bit of a miss to it, but we'll work through that or get another motor. This forward seam on the muffler, none of this muffler has been sealed up. There's a little bit of gases leaking there on at idle, so there's a little bit of a restriction. I found no gas leaking at the back seam, so we'll try the high temp RTV and see if that won't cure a little bit of that. I think the biggest thing that's surprised me was the amount of sound the airbox makes. That was a lot more than I had anticipated. Not that it's any kind of a big deal, but we'll get an air filter on it. I'm going to run a K&N oiled filter. Probably not the best choice, but I think for the way I'm going, it'll probably be just fine. Also, I think it was Greg made a comment about using the insulation on the airbox. That's my thought too, Greg, is that once I get the heat resisting material on it, I've also been thinking about running a 3-inch tube from the intake box down under, and then just ahead of the radiator in the large mouth section of the front hood, putting the pickup down there, or maybe even actually mounting the filter down in that area. So we still got a lot of figuring out of things to do. One of the fellows on the site was making a comment about the problems with working from CAD and then going to the actual physical, I found that I work from CAD drawings, then get it into steel, and then make the corrections. I made a little bit of a joke, and probably nobody found it funny, that you weld a tube in, you stand back, you cut the tube out, and then you start all over again. Cut and try wouldn't work any good, very well for production, but I think for the kind of building that we do, it probably makes some sense. Kind of like the radiator mount situation, where somebody else sees that the radiator is going to expand outward and you've got the mounts inward, and it just helps you to get a leg up. Posting the photographs, yeah, you may get your feelings hurt once in a while where somebody doesn't like the way you do it, but that's what this group's all about. All right, we'll get a little bit more done and then we'll post another video. Thanks.